Well, hello there, folks. It's me, Eleanor Thompson, but y'all can call me Ellie, just like my grandkids do. I'm sitting here in my cozy little den in Montana with a cup of hot coffee and my old photo album spread out. I've been wanting to share this story for a long time now, because it's been weighing on my heart like a sack of feed. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I tell real stories from my life, the kind that make you laugh, cry, and think twice about trusting folks. Today, I'm talking about the ranch my late husband Bob and I left behind 30 years ago. Oh, it breaks my heart, just thinking about it. Back in the day, Bob and I were young and full of dreams. We bought that sprawling ranch in Wyoming in '65, right after we got hitched. It was 500 acres of heaven, rolling hills, a creek running through it, and cattle grazing under big blue skies. We raised our daughter Sarah there, taught her to ride horses and mend fences. Bob was a hard-working man, tall and strong, with a laugh that could fill a barn. But life ain't always kind. In the late '80s, things went south. Drought hit hard, prices for beef plummeted, and we got into debt up to our eyeballs. Worse yet, Bob's brother, Harlan, oh, that snake in the grass, was supposed to be helping us out. He was our neighbor, running his own spread next door, but Harlan had eyes on our land. He started spreading rumors in town that we were mismanaging things, and before we knew it, the bank was breathing down our necks. We fought tooth and nail, but in '95, we had to sell off most of the herd and move to the city for steady jobs. Bob took work as a mechanic in Billings, and I waitressed at a diner. It tore us apart leaving that place. We kept the deed to the ranch though, boarded it up and vowed we'd come back one day. Sarah grew up, got married, had kids of her own. Life moved on, but the ranch was always in our hearts, like a ghost we couldn't shake. Then, last year, Bob passed. Heart attack in his sleep at 78. I was devastated, crying myself to sleep every night. But in his will, he left me a letter. Ellie, it said, go back to the ranch. There's something waiting for you behind the old gate. Forgive me. My hands shook reading it. What secret could he have hidden there after all these years? I packed my bags, kissed the grandkids goodbye, and drove out to Wyoming. Little did I know, opening that gate would unleash a storm of emotions and a chance for revenge I never saw coming. Alright dears, if you're still with me after part 1, grab a tissue or a snack. This is where things get real emotional. I'm Ellie Thompson, sharing my life stories right here on YouTube. Don't forget to like and comment below. Tell me if you've got family secrets of your own. So there I was, driving up that dusty road to the ranch after 30 years away. The sign was still hanging crooked. Thompson Ranch, established, 1965. Weeds choked the driveway, and the house looked like a tired old soul, paint peeling and windows boarded. My heart ached seeing it like that. Bob and I had built our life there, danced in the kitchen, watched sunsets from the porch. Now he was gone, and I was alone with his mysterious letter. I parked my truck and walked to the main gate, that big iron one Bob forged himself back in the day. It was rusted shut, padlocked tight. My fingers trembled as I fished out the key from his envelope. With a creak that echoed like a sigh, I swung it open. Dust swirled up, and I stepped through, feeling like I was walking into the past. The barn loomed ahead, sagging a bit, but still standing. Bob's letter said to check the loft, behind the hay bales. I climbed the ladder, my knees protesting every step. At 76, I ain't as spry as I used to be. Up there, buried under decades of cobwebs, was an old metal box. I pried it open, and inside were letters, photos, and a journal. My breath caught. The first photo showed Bob with a woman I didn't recognize, young, smiling, arm around him, dated 1990, 5 years before we left. Tears blurred my vision. Who was she? Then the letters, from Harlan, Bob's brother. Keep the affair quiet, or I'll tell Ellie everything. In return, sign over that water rights deed. My blood ran cold. Harlan had blackmailed Bob. Our ranch had prime water access from the creek, something Harlan coveted for his expanded operation. Bob's journal confessed it all, a one-night mistake during a rough patch, but Harlan used it to force Bob into bad deals, pushing us into debt. That's why we lost everything. Bob wrote, I couldn't bear to hurt you, Ellie. I hid this to protect us. I sat there sobbing, the weight of 30 years crashing down. Betrayal from the man I loved, and worse from his own kin. But as the sun set, anger bubbled up. Harlan was still alive, living fat off our stolen land. This wasn't just a secret, it was a call to action. Revenge? Oh, honey, you bet. I wasn't done yet. Hey everyone, it's your Grandma Ellie back for part 3 of this wild tale. If you haven't watched the first 2, pause and catch up. It's like a soap opera, but real life. I'm sipping tea now, trying to steady my nerves remembering that night in the barn. Hit that thumbs up if you're rooting for me. So after finding Bob's box of secrets, I didn't sleep a wink. I drove into town the next morning, heart pounding like a drum. First stop, the county records office. I wanted proof of what Harlan did. The clerk, a nice young fella named Jake, helped me dig through old deeds. Sure enough, in '94, Bob had transferred water rights to Harlan for a pittance, way below value. But there was a note, contingent on no disputes. Harlan had muscled in, using that affair as leverage. Back at the ranch, I pored over the journal. Bob detailed how Harlan set it all up, invited that woman, Lisa, to a town dance knowing Bob was drinking heavy from stress. It was a trap. Harlan photographed him, threatened to show me unless Bob played ball. My poor Bob carried that guilt alone, thinking he was sparing me pain. I cried rivers, missing him fierce. We'd argued plenty over the years, but I never doubted his love. Now knowing he sacrificed our dream to shield me. It was bittersweet, like honey mixed with vinegar. I called Sarah, my daughter. "Mom, that's awful," she said, voice cracking. She drove up from Colorado with her husband Tom and the kids. We sat on the porch, sharing stories. The grandkids ran around, chasing fireflies, bringing a spark of joy to the gloom. Sarah hugged me tight. "Dad loved you more than anything. But Uncle Harlan, he's gotta pay." We brainstormed. Harlan was 80 now, still running his mega ranch, worth millions. He'd married twice, had sons who idolized him. But rumors in town said his business was shady, cutting corners on environmental regs, maybe even tax dodging. Emotionally, I was a wreck. Grieving Bob anew, furious at the lost years. We could have stayed, raised more kids, grown old on that land. Instead, city life wore us down. But that fire in my belly, it was revenge brewing. I hired a lawyer, old friend from high school named Betty. She reviewed the documents. "Ellie, this smells like coercion. We can sue for fraud, maybe get the rights back." My eyes lit up. It wasn't just about money, it was justice. Harlan thought he'd won 30 years ago, but this grandma was coming for him. Welcome back, friends. Ellie here, diving into part 4 of my ranch revenge saga. If this story's hitting home, share it with a friend and subscribe for more real talk tales from an old-timer like me. Comment your thoughts, I read them all. So with Betty the lawyer on board, we built our case. I spent weeks gathering evidence, old bank statements showing how Harlan's loans were really bribes, witness statements from folks who remembered the rumors. One ranch hand, old Pete, swore Harlan bragged about teaching Bob a lesson. It was emotional, digging up the past. Nights I'd sit by the fire, staring at Bob's photo, whispering, "Why didn't you tell me, darling?" His secret protected me, but it stole our peace. Sarah and Tom helped fix up the ranch, painting, mending fences. The kids loved it, calling it Grandma's Adventure Land. Seeing new life there healed some wounds, but the anger simmered. Harlan got wind of my return. He drove over one day in his fancy truck. "Ellie, long time," he smirked, tipping his hat. "Sorry about Bob." I stared daggers. "Cut the crap, Harlan. I know what you did." His face paled, but he laughed it off. "Ancient history, sis. Let sleeping dogs lie." Oh, that lit a fuse. He offered to buy the ranch outright. Lowball, of course. I slammed the door in his face. We filed the lawsuit. Fraud, blackmail, undue influence. The town buzzed. Harlan's sons, Jake and Cody, rallied around him, calling me a bitter widow. But evidence mounted. Lisa, the woman from the affair, came forward after I tracked her down. Living in Idaho now, she confessed Harlan paid her to seduce Bob. "I was young and broke," she said tearful. "I'm sorry." Her testimony was gold. Emotionally, it wrecked me. Forgiving Bob was easy, but seeing how deep the betrayal went, I had nightmares, wake and sweating. Sarah held my hand through it. "Mom, you're strong. Dad, be proud." As the court date neared, Harlan tried settling out of court, offered cash, but no apology. I refused. This was about more than money. It was revenge for the stolen years, the broken dreams. I wanted him humbled, his empire cracked. The trial started in Cheyenne, packed courtroom. I took the stand, voice steady, telling my story just like I'm telling y'all. Harlan squirmed, his smug face crumbling. The jury leaned our way. But wait till part 5, the twist that'll make your jaw drop. Howdy y'all, it's Ellie Thompson wrapping up this emotional roller coaster in part 5. If you've stuck with me through all this, you're a true friend. Hit subscribe and let's chat in the comments about your own revenge stories. Grab a hanky, this ends with tears and triumph. So the trial was intense. Harlan's lawyers painted me as vengeful, but our evidence shone bright. Bob's journal was admitted, Lisa testified, and Pete backed it up. The jury deliberated 2 days. When they came back, guilty on all counts, Harlan's face went ashen. The judge ordered him to return the water rights, pay back profits, over $1 million, and issue a public apology. The courtroom erupted. Sarah squeezed my hand, tears streaming. Harlan appealed but lost. He had to sell off land to pay up. His sons distanced themselves, ashamed. At the settlement meeting, he muttered, "I'm sorry, Ellie." I looked him in the eye. "Too late for sorries, Harlan. You stole our life." Walking out, I felt lighter, like Bob's spirit was smiling down. Revenge wasn't sweet like in movies, it was satisfying, closing a chapter. With the money, I revived the ranch, hired hands, bought cattle, turned it into a family haven. Sarah and her crew moved closer. Grandkids ride horses now, just like she did. I planted a garden where Bob proposed, put up a plaque, in memory of Robert Thompson, my heart, my hero. Emotionally, it healed me. I forgave Bob fully, knowing his secret was born of love. Nights are peaceful now, stargazing from the porch. This story's taught me, secrets fester, but truth sets you free. Revenge, it's okay if it's justice. Thanks for listening, dears. If life's thrown you curveballs, stand tall, like this old grandma did. Share this if it moved you, and remember, family secrets don't stay buried forever. God bless, and see y'all in the next video.